Welcome to It's Not Letting Me. Today, I'm going to teach you how to edit video. Yesterday, we went out and shot video. Shot a bunch of shots of my dog, and now we're going to put it into a nice little video to make it fun. First thing you want to do is download CapCut. The link is down below. You just go to the App Store and install it like any program. First thing you want to do is open CapCut. Create a new project. Then you want to go to Import. You can click on the Import folder, or you can drag and drop. I like people to start learning how to drag and drop. So here's the folder with all my media. I'm going to just select all, drag it in here, and drop it. You can see the green plus gets added, and I have 41 pieces of media. So here we are. We have a bunch of shots. Some are vertical, some are photos, some are walking and talking. So you can go through here and just select your favorite shots. This particular area here, we call the bin. It is where all of your media will live. So I'm going to take a few sample shots and we'll see where we want to go. One of the first shots I have is this shot of my dog walking. So what you can do is you can click on it up here and view it up here. You'll notice there's little handles on the edges. So if you want only a portion of that clip, you can resize these and then only take that one portion. Then you hit this plus sign and that will drop it right into your timeline. And you can drag it right into the timeline. So that's a nice shot. I think there was something else at the end of this clip which I might want to use. So I can drag these handles to the end, and you can see I flipped it upside down because the camera was being held on the gimbal. So this looks strange right now, but I'm going to drag it into the timeline. I can now use some attributes. Every piece of media has attributes. One of the main attributes here is rotation. So if I rotate it 180 degrees, it will flip it right side up. So then when I go from one shot to the other, it goes from there to there. You can use Command B, which will put a cut into the clip and it will give it its own spacing. So I don't want too much of this dog walking. Then of course we want maybe an overhead of the dog. I like that line that was sort of started there with the sidewalk, but it'll end about at the grass. So you put, these are what you call your in and your out points. You put the in where you want it to start and you put your out where you want it to end. You can then put these as layers. You can move them around. You can drop it in. So now we have this shot, goes to that shot, goes to that shot. And then let's see if we have a shot of the dog walking forward. I always like this shot with the crossing of the crosswalk. And then when it gets a little funkly, ugly, we put it there. And put this at the end of the timeline. And so each one of these clips is just ordered. Another thing you can think about when you're editing is transitions. So when you go from this clip to that clip, sometimes a hard cut works. But if you're going to go from this clip to this clip, you might want to do a little bit of a transition. So you go to transitions and you have different ones. Like we're going to do just this swipe one. You drag and drop it right into in between, and then let's watch what it looks like. And then it just does a quick transition. When you want videos, the transitions help to really speed things up. The next element you want to add is audio. You can go here. You can add here. So let's first add a sound effect. So the first thing you want to add is a dog sound, like a dog bark. So that's a dog bark. I'm going to drag it to the bottom of the timeline. This is now its own kind of layer. Sound effects will be in the B layer. I'm going to mute everything that was in the regular layer because we're going to put music into this. So we're going to start with the music, or start with the sound effect, and then we're going to go into the music. So what I can do is I can look at all kinds of different options here. So let's say exciting. See what kind of exciting music we have. It's kind of inspiring. It's kind of an inspiring sound. I think we're going to go with that. We're going to drag that in, put it on its own audio layer. You can see here that the waveform starts low and then goes high. You can tell that the audio, so it's going to kind of fade out up into the song. So you also then want to start to cut to the beat. You can notice there are beats in this music. So that, to me, is where that cut should go. And then that's another place. You can drag it with the transition. So, do we have one more clip and then maybe we have a finishing clip? You can see that CapCut tells you what was added, where it was added, so you can't duplicate things. And then this is a time-lapse shot that we shot earlier. We're going to put this in there at the beginning as well. Or I'll put this at the end. And then that can kind of... Then we're going to put some titles in. Titles are quite simple. You go to text, you just say default text, and you just add a title box. This is going to put your generic text in right away. And then I'm going to make some stylized text. I'm going to change this to that line. And then over here, you can adjust these things. You can adjust the size of it, change the font. There's a whole video about typography linked down below. So we have I love my, and then we're going to put dog pretty big. Then we can adjust what's called the tracking and the leading, which is the size or the position of the text. You can go wider or you can go narrower. I'm going to also adjust this to left justified. I think dog is still too big. So now we're creating a stylized graphic. You use these tools to then move around. I'm going to change the color maybe to kind of this orangish color. Then I'm going to add in some styling, like a shadow. Maybe not so big of a shadow. And then we're going to put these cuts to end on the cut. I'm going to copy this because I want to have also a closing credit. And I want this to be over the final time lapse. I'm going to put my clip here. I'm going to hit Command B, which will put a cut in it. That'll cut it. You can also use this tool right here, which will cut it. And then we're going to finish this off. You just copy and paste it because you can use the same styles as before. I'm going to put our "it's not letting me" branding on that. We're going to center that one. And see, it'll tell you exactly when it's centered in the whole screen. I'm going to cut that. I'm going to copy and paste that so I can have another one. And then, of course, I'm going to put my starring. I'm going to put her name because her name is a girl named Jack. Again, you can adjust it. You put it a little lower. And then I want to go back to the beginning of the clip. You can use the arrow keys to jump from clip to clip. There's my dog bark. I'm going to paste that in. I'm going to use a different part of that bark so that it doesn't sound like the exact same clip. And then we're going to put a little bit of a fade here at the end. You can use keyframes at the end here, which changes the opacity. So I go here to the opacity, I put this dot in. You can see the dot is added to the video. Then I go to the end of the clip, put another dot in, change this down to 0, and then that's what you call a good old fade out. So the text is then deleted, or the image is then goes to black, and I'm going to put those same settings on the text. So I go to the text, I select the text, I go to opacity, click on a keyframe, go to the end of the clip, add another one, and then change this to 0. And there's your video. So those are the shortest, quickest ways to use CapCut. So first you select your clips, you adjust the length of them, you can cut, you can resize the handles. You can do it both from the bin or you can do it from the timeline. Then you add music, sound effects, titles, transitions, and then the final thing if you want to do is add some styling. You can add some cool effects, like let's say we want this video to be completely black and white. So I can go to filters. They have filters, so you can create video effects just like filters, like Instagram. So you go to here, let's say we want black and white 3. That looks kind of cool. I'm gonna go back up here to another clip. This one had a lot of green in it. We'll see if we can do some type of Inception styling. Looks a little different. And all of this is ways to make your stuff look really cool. You can put stickers on it. Sometimes it's a little not so cool. So that's it. When you want to share it, you don't just export a CapCut file and then put it on YouTube. But here in the upper right corner, you can click export. You can give yourself a title. It's called I Love My Dog. The video will export as 1080p in regular settings. You tell it what folder you want to put it in. I like to keep all my folders into the same project. I click export. It's going to be a 20-second video. It's 48 megabytes and export. This will then what we call cook it. It puts it in the oven. Puts it in the oven meaning it takes all of this as if it was a chocolate chip cookie. The recipe is in there, the dough is there, the eggs, the butter, the sugar. Those are all the elements. Those are your edits, your transitions, your video filters, your titles, your music, your sound effects. They're all separate elements, but you've been mixing it together. Once you put these things in the oven, you take it out, it comes out as one file that you can no longer edit. When you have cookie dough, you can still kind of pick out the chocolate chips and keep eating. Once it's in the oven, it's really hard to separate all the ingredients from each other. So once it's done, it'll tell you that it's generating the original video, and there's my video. If I go into that folder, there's my video, and then I would just drag and drop this video onto YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, the school website, or whatever. So everything you saw us how we shot this. We shot the time lapse, we shot the video with the dog. We are now editing it and we're sharing it. You share it by exporting it. Once it's exported, it's cooked, it's all melted down into a nice, delicious cookie. You put that onto YouTube, share that then with the world, share the link to the YouTube with people instead of sending this 50 megabyte file on text or whatever. You just put it on YouTube, direct everyone to that point, and then send them the link. That's it for editing. Thanks for watching. I hope that you can make some really great videos in CapCut. Please link them down below. Show us what you're making using this new skill. Check us out next time on It's Not Letting Me. We have a full course coming specifically for school teachers of how to make video and how to make video effective in your classroom. Like and subscribe down below. Join our email list and we'll keep you posted as to when that course is going to be available for everyone to take. Have a great day. See you next time on It's Not Letting Me.